very pretty, pretty, pretty. My name isn't pretty, pretty, it's Barbarella.
Barbarella, psychedelic. There's a kind of cockle shell about you.
Barbarella, Barbarella.
Dazzle me with rainbow color. Fade away the duller shade of living. Get me up high. Teach me to fly. Electrify. Night with starry light above the stratosphere. Bring your dearness near till the dawn comes tumbling down.
Don't make a sound.
Every word we need comes from the skies. Can't you read my eyes saying love? Oh, you give me a cold shoulder. Still I'm dying, girl, to hold you and make love. Barbarella, psychedelic. Never can a fella name or call you Barbarella, 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 Barbarella,
Okay, so let's get right into this. The character of Barbarella was created in 1962 by Jean Claude Forest as a series of French comic strips. Set in the future, Barbarella explores new worlds and encounters strange characters, with a dose of eroticism, space adventures, and tongue-in-cheek humor. They were later published in a standalone book together, which became known as the first adult comic book. The book created a bit of a scandal while, at the same time, some popularity. The comic version of the character was modeled on Brigitte Bardot, the popular sex symbol at the time. While today we have a new sex symbol every month before she disappears and gets replaced by a new one, Bardot pretty much ruled the late 50s, early 60s. Anyway, in 1968, producer Dino De Laurentiis brought the character of Barbarella to the big screen in what has become one of the most popular cult films of all time. Because of the popularity of the Batman TV show, and the fad that camp was pretty hip at the time, the idea of putting that, along with a bunch of psychedelic images and some sex, a film version of Barbarella seemed like a guaranteed hit. At least that's what Dino thought. In the biggest stroke of luck, they cast future Oscar winner and aerobics guru Jane Fonda as Barbarella. So it's kind of fun to see her star in this, just for curiosity's sake. Another bit of casting to note is Marcel Marceau, the world's most famous mime, playing Professor Ping. How he got involved in this, I don't know. See, already the film is starting to get pretty weird. The most famous scene in the film is the credit sequence where she's weightless in space and does a striptease as she removes her spacesuit. It's a fun and sexy scene. Unfortunately, after it ends, the rest of the film goes downhill from there. In the year 40,000, Barbarella is assigned by the President of Earth to find Dr. Duran Duran on the planet Sogo and discover where he's hiding his monstrous positronic ray. He's apparently threatening the universal peace, and it's up to Barbarella to find him and save the world. Or whatever. The story isn't really the important thing here. Not once was I in suspense or interested whether Barbarella would accomplish her mission. I think the story could have been anything almost. The whole thing could have been a dream sequence. It's just an excuse for Fonda to walk into a new set and meet with a bunch of bizarre new junk. It could have been fun if the junk was interesting or fun, but it's just boring scenes one after another with characters that are not that interesting.
What marvelous little girls. Hi. Do you speak English? Parlez-vous français?
Barbarella has this optimistic, good cheery attitude when she meets all these characters along her way. Fonda is charming when she plays this innocence, but the otherworldly discoveries she has are not very entertaining. Compared to other sci-fi films that were released at the time, the special effects are pretty horrendous and uninspired. This is attempted to be played off in a good, fun, silly way, but there's really nothing else to counterbalance the dismal look of the film. The campy attitude of the movie doesn't make it any more entertaining than if it was played completely serious. Just because the film is in on the joke doesn't make it more fun.
You have the aspect of an earthling. You are of female gender, are you not?
That is correct.
Ah.
The comedy, what there is, falls flat. It doesn't help most of the actors can't deliver a joke, and the jokes that are offered are pretty bad. The sets are poor and sometimes embarrassingly laughable and ugly. Sometimes they look like a cheesy Vegas show. Whatever logic there might have been with the rules of the film, they sort of fall by the wayside too. Unbelievable coincidences and luck help Barbarella out of any danger she might be in. As she's being mauled by a bunch of birds in a cage facing inevitable death, where all hope is lost, the floor opens up and she falls into a secret hideout of the resistance group of Sogo. Lucky for her, they made a trapdoor in that cage. At certain points, Fonda literally falls into the next scene. She just plops right in from out of nowhere into the set and the story just shoulders on. There's not really anything special about the individual scenes themselves. They're just each a wacky set with a supposedly funny new character. The only highlight is Barbarella trapped again in this excessive machine that's supposed to kill her through sexual pleasure. But she wears the thing out, and it explodes. Funny, huh? For a title character in a film, Barbarella herself is pretty boring. Other than her discovering the pleasures of traditional sex, there isn't much else to her. There's not really much to say about this flick. I mean, I suppose I can understand why it would be considered a cult classic. That's probably the best way to enjoy it. Maybe the only way. Some movies are so bad they can be entertaining, but for me, this one does not fall into that category. Fonda looks great, probably the best she's ever looked in a movie, with her costumes, playing the sex kitten part, and all that. And I can appreciate it, but the rest of the film is a lot of work to sit through just to enjoy looking at her. I suppose at the time it was made, this seemed like real pushing the envelope kind of stuff, with its psychedelic presentation and openness about sex. But watching it now, it just looks like an odd time capsule of the 1960s cinema. Something that's really only interesting to see what was being presented to movie audiences at the time. The film ended up generating bad reviews and was a box office failure. For whatever the reasons, the film has endured and has maintained a small cult audience since then. There's a bunch of fun trivia attached to the film, like how the band Duran Duran took its name from it, or how the director Roger Vadim had previously been married to Brigitte Bardot, the original inspiration for the character. But trivia does not make an entertaining film. Supposedly a big-budget remake, what else is new, is being planned by director Robert Rodriguez. The last I heard, Rose McGowan was being considered for the lead. I suppose an update would inevitably lose a lot of the 1960s flavor that makes the original so unique. So I hope they try to make the character a bit more interesting and send her on a more worthwhile adventure to follow.
I'll do things to you that are beyond all known philosophies. Wait until I get my devices.